one can make an intelligent decision without being properly informed. This is why this world wants to control the media. This is why media hype can take you up, take you down. So you don't know anymore who's really good, because the media can make a wicked man look good and make a good man look evil. That is why.
Good evening, assalamu alaikum, peace to the gods, greetings. This is your brother Herman Muhammad, and you are watching a special edition of the Final Call News Hour. The Final Call News Hour is the partner of the Final Call newspaper, which of course you can visit digitally at finalcalldigital.com. Pick that up, finalcalldigital.com. This is the most powerful, biggest, blackest, boldest newspaper on earth, and you don't want to miss an issue. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, you won't be able to catch your mighty FY out on the streets for a little while until we're given clearance to get back on those streets. But you can go to finalcalldigital.com and pick up this wonderful newspaper and have it right in your hands via your tablet. And trust me, it's a really, really good deal. Today, family, I'm honored because we have a very, very special guest. But before we get to him, and if you guys pardon me, I'm looking at my producing at the same time. I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm saying. Before we get to him, I just want to tell you about the latest issue of the Final Call. The current issue reads, America under siege. Anger, grief, outrage explode on U.S. streets. A Minneapolis cop who knelt on the neck of an unarmed, handcuffed black man has been arrested for third-degree murder and manslaughter. But a grieving family and outraged community demand the arrest and charges against all police officers involved in the horrific events resulting in the death of George Floyd. And fed up with oppression and killing of blacks by police, people took to the streets, sparking uprisings and unrest around the country. Extensive coverage starting on page 2. And I have to tell you, family, this is a very powerful edition of the Final Call. It is packed with information and coverage of this particular rioting, protesting, and all the like that's going on because of the murder of our brother George Floyd. Let me turn this down a little bit. I hear an echo. But before we get into it, I have the distinct honor. Yeah, that's better. I have the distinct honor of introducing our brother who we have on the Final Call News Hour today. And I'm honored that he accepted our invitation because I'm a great admirer of his work. He serves as the Student National Archivist of the Nation of Islam. And that's really near and dear to my heart because history is one of my favorite subjects. He also serves as the student minister in the great city of Baltimore, Maryland. It's my honor to present to you all and reintroduce to others our brother, student minister Carlos Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, sir. Wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam, my brother Herman, and to all of your viewers and listeners, it's such an honor to be back on the Final Call News Hour. It's been a while. I think we went back to like 2010.
Yes, sir.
If my archive served me right, and we did a little promo out at Savior's Day.
Yes, sir.
And I think I called in or something like that on the show years back around that same time. But definitely happy to be seeing my brother and participating in this beautiful program that is still going. And may Allah continue to bless you all with this program and keep it going on.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah. Now, Brother Carlos, we want to jump right in, man, because we have a lot to cover, man, with this very, very important subject and this very, very important and full issue of the Final Call newspaper. And I was telling the people, of course, they can get that joint digitally. You know what I'm saying? I'm bearing witness that this is an awesome tool to have in your arsenal. And like the minister says in the intro, in order to be properly informed, man, we got to have proper information. And the best way to get that is the Final Call newspaper. So in looking at this issue with our brother George Floyd, I wanted to have Brother Carlos on because he dealt with a similar type of situation in Baltimore, Maryland in, what was it, 2015, Brother Carlos?
Yes, sir. 2015, April of 2015, April 27th to be exact.
Yes, sir. So when this George Floyd situation came up, Brother Carlos, what came to your mind? How did you see it?
Well, it goes back to something that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan shared with me right after the Freddie Gray uprising, which only lasted a day. Unbeknownst to many, it did not last over a protracted period of time like Ferguson, and even now what we're seeing going into 7 days in some cities with protesting and the other activities that's going on. So when I was blessed after a few days from the incident, I went out to see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and the first thing that he said to myself, Pastor Jamal Bryant, and Brother Jeff Johnson from BET, formerly of BET, he said that Baltimore is just the latest stop of a train that is going around where our people continue to be abused and under the foot of tyranny. He said, and in every city is a powder keg among our people because we've taken so much that we just can't take it anymore. And then he said, all it takes is a spark. And right there, it's unleashed. And so again, this is a long train of abuses. I mean, of course, historically, we can go back to starting with slavery and how we even got up to this point now. But in the modern contemporary times in 2020, for us to see the fact that almost every other day or twice a week or every other week, the shortness of how one incident happens in one city or state, then here it comes again. But for those of us that are quote-unquote woke, are we shocked? Are we surprised that the police continue to abuse us? Of course we shouldn't be shocked. But see, the spark that the minister is talking about, there's different types of sparks. There's sparks that fly and hit and go out. Then there's sparks that ignite. And we saw that this situation, I believe that Allah used this situation to spark it because of what just happened to our brother Ahmaud Arbery and our sister in Kentucky, Breonna Taylor, and the other brother up in Indianapolis. And there's many that have happened. He ain't even got the report. So, you know, that's the thing that the minister said. It's a train traveling around, and people have taken too much, and they can't take it anymore.
Man, you hit on so many things, Brother Carlos, and you know, that's what I'm thinking as well, just going back to what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has taught us about this police brutality and how it is a powder keg that's ready to explode. But you hit it on the head, man, with regards to it not being just about George Floyd. But in Minneapolis, before that, it was Philando Castile. And of course in Baltimore, it's Freddie Gray. And down south in Texas is Sandra Bland. And in Denver is Marvin Booker. You know what I'm saying? So this is it's contributing to something that I didn't see it coming, not like this. You know what I mean? Especially during the pandemic. But like the paper says, America is under siege. Not only from the pandemic of COVID-19, but the same forces that have been seizing on us for the past 464 years, we find ourselves falling victim to again.
Yes, sir. I mean, I look at it like this as well. You know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been that voice that has been crying in the wilderness since the day he decided to rebuild the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You can't find any leader, and I'm not putting him or pitting him against other leaders. It's just a matter of fact that you cannot find one singular black leader that has cried out, taught on, divinely warned us, and has divinely guided us on the abuse that we as a people have taken under the foot of this enemy. The sad reality is in 2020, while we're very emotional and excited, and we have a right to feel, but it goes back to something. Look how long people have taught us on the language and the divine teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, where we were given a thorough dose of remedy to what has happened to our psyche in relationship to these people that have never loved us, by him telling us that that race of people are a race of death. And in 2020, that's, don't do that because we believe that we've meshed into a kind of gentler America, when in truth, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, it's all on social media, we went back and put the memes up. Man, this white man is going to force us to go for self. Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his minister have told us that they will continue to abuse us. In fact, God is using them to force us to go for self. But the question is, are you going to pay attention now to a voice that's been in your midst that God is ready to take out? I mean, I'm fired up now.
Yes, sir.
I'm just thinking that I guess for us, Brother Herman, I shut down with this. Like, I think we've been given such proper knowledge that though our humanity is bruised and hurt every time that happens.
Yes, sir.
But when we start looking at the outcome of the injustice, only God can come and serve justice on these people for what they really deserve. We could never really serve the justice on them in the manner of weapons and looting and robbing. Though I understand it. Listen, that's the only outlet we have right now. You know what? Y'all harmed our brother, we harmed your situation, even if we hurt more down the road. But at the end of the day, our guns can't match their guns.
Right.
Our tyranny can't match theirs. But God has the ultimate power to crush this enemy by using, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, the four great judgments on America: rain, hail, snow, and earthquake, that which they cannot control. And so that's why our beloved leader been telling us all these years, just watch the weather. And for all of you that watch this, that got something critical to say about where's Farrakhan and where's the Muslim. We're under divine guidance.
Right.
We're not under Negro guidance. We're not under rebellious guidance. We're not into the free will guidance.
Right.
We're not into this thing that I'm a free thinker and I can go for self. We've done that, and it's only led to further slavery, suffering, and death. But because God blessed us to hear a divine messenger who for the past 30 years been leading and guiding me, and has been leading and guiding Brother Herman as long as he's been here, and countless tens upon tens of thousands of others. And guess what? He's rebuilt this work with limited loss of life. And you can't get no better than that. I'm sorry for my passion, man.
Oh, man, that's beautiful, brother. That's beautiful. Hey, look. You right where I was praying for you to go, brother. All right, so I want to stay there for a minute. We haven't even stepped into the article yet. But you keep bringing up critical points, man, because the people are asking, where are the Muslims at? Where the nation at? Where the minister at? I hear that every single day at the barbershop. Every day, brother, without fail. So, and you answered it, but I wanted to bring up the fact that in Baltimore, you know, during the Freddie Gray situation, of course, the enemy, you know, made mischief for what was going on between the FOI and the brothers in the community and what our true motives were. But at one point, and I'm gonna show this image to the family, the brothers stood arm in arm and literally protected, whether we want to say the community or the police, from one another. Tell us what was happening at that time.
Well, I can't see your image right now, but I have some, but I know you want to share yours.
Yes, sir.
But I know for a fact that our people didn't quite understand what that was about. However, when you had Bloods and Crips and concerned citizens that came and jumped out of their cars to form a barrier between our angry young brothers and sisters in the community and the police who were not prepared for that. See, Brother Herman, Baltimore is viewed as a large city.
Right.
A very large city. But it's really a small city that sits inside of a bigger county that surrounds it. And so when you start talking about the size of Baltimore and the fact that we are the majority here, there's over 418,000 black people in a city just above 600,000. So the point was our police force is black, though there are racist white people in it. Our leadership in City Hall was black at that time. So when we lined up, it was really to prevent the police from opening fire out of fear on a situation that was really like a war zone. And so I remember one particular situation where I was standing face to face. We had gotten close to the line, and there was a little young police officer, a young sister. And through her shield, both her mask shield and the big shield, she said she was whispering like, thank you, wording it out.
Right.
Thank you. Because that sister didn't come to work that day, though she under her training, she should know that every day she walked out of there, she might not come back home. But the reality is, I could tell she wanted to get home to wherever she was going home to, whether it was her children, whether it was her husband or family, or whatever it is. And so, lastly, people misunderstood it, but guess what? No loss of life on either side.
Right.
No loss of life. Because it's easy to say, oh, well, you know, don't be protecting them. We wasn't protecting the police, we was protecting the people.
Right.
From them guns and those situations, because they had live ammunition.
Right.
They didn't have rubber bullets because they wasn't prepared for a riot.
Right.
So I don't know if I could put this up, but I just want to show. Let me see. I'm going to just scroll through.
Yes, sir.
And we'll come back to it. And this is one of those iconic scenes. Now, you don't see us in the shot, but we're right there.
Right.
And that's that famous CVS. And we're right there, though, in between the people that's in the intersection. And just some of the other images will come back to. But there's an image, that's one of my security brothers.
Yes,
Brother
sir.
Willis. You see him right there, literally, that's how close we are. And he's literally telling the police, stop. Let us deal with our people. Just stop moving. And eventually, because of the rapport and the respect that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his followers had, many of them obeyed. The commanders came out and began to talk to Brother Captain Andrew, talk to myself. And we got the people. I said, look, we need a half hour to get our people up off these streets. And they stayed in that position for almost an hour right there.
Yes, sir.
While we worked and moved. So, you know, it's a lot. There's Brother Faraji Muhammad, you see. Now look how close, look at what he's doing.
Right.
His body, he's stopping the police from moving on our little young brother who was throwing bricks and rocks, like you see. This was right after Freddie Gray's funeral. It was so chaotic, we had to prevent people from rushing the casket so they could get the casket out. And just a few hours later, we were down in the melee that you just saw. See what they had done before we had even got, this was before we got to that intersection.
Yes, sir.
Of course, we see the Freddie Gray Memorial. This is the place where he was arrested. It eventually resulted in his murder and death. And that's the mural that they put up. Another mural that's right in that same neighborhood. And this is us. You kind of see this shot. Now, this is the day after. We're literally standing there with the Bloods and the Crips, keeping black people moving. Because right across the street is the National Guard.
Right.
And so it just wasn't that one day. That's a black and white of it. And the CBS again. So I'm just saying that to say, black people got to understand sometimes. We understand your passion. But you can't fight this beast with what he got. You just can't. We look like Palestine, throwing rocks and bottles of water at vested and shielded police officers with all kind of arsenals. And we saw what the president did yesterday. That's
right. Yes, sir.
So that's a whole nother subject. But by God's grace, yesterday I'll leave you with this. Baltimore had a very major protest. And of course, the leadership was very afraid. And they were calling me and Brother Cat for a minister. And of course, we under order.
Right.
Come out there with y'all on this. But we spoke to the leaders of that rally, and they assured us that it was peaceful, and that they were going to go and they were going to leave. Now, of course, you've seen in these cities that during the day is one thing.
Right. At night it's a whole nother animal.
Right. When that sun go down, especially out on the West Coast, because by the time things are really kind of settled here, y'all just getting going out that way, especially in like California and Oregon, as you saw last night in Seattle. So we got to keep our people in prayer, but at the same time, we got to keep balance. The minister told us what in 2015, going towards what for else.
Man.
Fighting the war on two fronts. We're fighting dealing with our own madness, but at the same time, we're fighting this enemy that continues to serve injustice on our people. And George Floyd is the latest spark that has sparked the nation, and believe it or not, it's sparking the world right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just seen some images in France. Man, all praise due to Allah. And if you're just tuning in, we are dealing with the latest final call entitled America Under Siege, Anger, Grief, Outrage Explode on the U.S. Streets. And we have our beautiful Brother Carlos Muhammad in the building. All praises due to Allah through the means of modern technology, of course. But staying on that, brother, we're going to educate the people about why we do what we do and the wisdom that it entails. Because here's another question that's always asked. Why, or does the Nation of Islam protest? Why or why not?
Yes, we protest. Everything about the Nation of Islam is a protest. That's why white people can't come to our meetings in 2020. Even though many of you Negroes still waiting to see when we're going to let them in. That's a protest. The Nation of Islam is a protest against white Aryan Christianity. That's a protest. You gave us a fake white Jesus, and our protest is we gave you the real black Jesus.
That's right.
Not only from scripture, not only from prophecy, but in the contemporary time. See? So we are protest when we're out there as we before COVID with the final call news. That is a protest.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean? Because it's true in that paper. It's not just news, it's true in every edition. It's a message of guidance from a messenger that God raised up for you that you continue to ignore. That's what Minister Ishmael was saying on Sunday.
Right.
You just can't ignore the fact that the minister and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad before him and the followers have been an example of real protest. See? We've stood firm against an enemy that wants to wipe our leader out and wipe us out with him. But guess what? You ain't never seen us back down. But because you make a judgment because we won't go to war with these people, you ain't prepared to go to war with them.
Right.
See? Matter of fact, before you start talking about going to war with them, you need to stop the war that you got going on with yourself.
That's right.
There's a proper time for everything. Go read the back page of the final call in First of Muhammad speech and see whether or not does the Muslim program now stand firm. The messenger been called for an end to police brutality and mob attacks on our people.
That's right.
See? He been dealt with that while I'm on that note. And we'll send you the images for the show. That's why I wanted to show you the fight from 1934 where the police attacked our school in Detroit.
Right.
And then did it again in 35 in Chicago and beat us and arrested our followers. But we fought them back. And guess what? 13 of us went to jail. 41 of their patrol people went to the hospital.
Yes, sir.
And we didn't have one weapon. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in a very dramatic and sad part of our history, but it is a part that shows you that when you don't obey, see, disobedience in a time of war can get people killed and really harm the eventual effects of what we're working towards. So when Malcolm X was under order, we're under order right now.
Yes, sir.
In a time where people don't understand. Why is the Prime Minister telling y'all to stay in? What's this? I don't understand. And Malcolm X went to the Manhattan Center in December of 1963, brother. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was scheduled to come there. But because of Kennedy's death and our people's attachment to President Kennedy, he said, no, it wouldn't be wise for me to come make an appearance, and gave the order for, as you know, the ministers and those of us not to make any statements about Kennedy. Malcolm X pressed the Honorable Elijah Muhammad because of the money that was spent. Said, if you can't get our money back, can we go on? And he said, okay, just do not make any statements about Kennedy. Do you know that Herman, the reporter that reported that, came to the event and Captain Shaw put him out? Because we were under another order because of an incident in Flint, Michigan, where the police and the white press disturbed our meeting, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad dismissed it and said after that, no white press and no police will ever be allowed into any of our meetings with white press. And when Malcolm got there, Shaw told him, this captain told him, he said, Handler was here. And we dismissed him because of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's orders on the press not being allowed in. Malcolm told his captain, go get him and let him back in.
Wow.
Look at how history turns.
Right.
Because of a simple disobedience. First, which leads me as I close this, I didn't mean to take so much time.
No, brother, go, please.
Given the history, that now, just a year prior, in April, same date as the Baltimore uprising, April 27, 1962, the police attacked our mosque temple out there, number 27, and we got our first martyr. They killed and murdered our secretary, Brother Ronald C. Stokes.
Yes, sir.
And then shot 7 others. See? And put our brother William X. 12S Rogers in a wheelchair for the rest of his life until he returned to Allah. Paralyzed him. Shot our brothers up and left them out there without any medical treatment. You're going to put these images in so what I'm saying you'll be able to see. We're no stranger to police attacks on the nation. You can't judge us. But anyway, Malcolm went out there angry like we're angry right now. He said that we was going to have a bloodbath out there. on the police department, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, we're not going to do no such thing. As it was recounted to us by our leader, Minister Farrakhan, he said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, brother, I will never put the FOI up against the army like that until I know that they're thoroughly trained.
Right.
He said, we did that in the 30s, and we whipped them. And when I went to the temple, wasn't nobody in there but me. Because they could not believe the power that was with them. Can I share this with you and your audience about that?
Wow.
When you saw those pictures of us out there, do you know that after the effect of it, we realized that Allah took over? God took over? How do you know that? I'm not being spooky, because when you see smoke and bombs and going off, and that ain't even phasing you, in terms of your psyche thinking,
right,
damn, I could die out here. Not one time did I ever think, man, I'm gonna die.
Right.
Let me get the hell out of here. I didn't think about my family, brother. I didn't think about my wife, my children, my grandmother, my mother. Not one single time did that enter my mind. And I make the joke, I didn't think about my sneaker collection. You know what I'm saying? And the point is, because God had taken over.
Right.
Our fearlessness, because of faith in Him, He was able to take over. And when we came out of that and got back to the mosque, that's when you came back. That's when I came back like, hold up.
Right.
Did that just happen? Like looking at those images, it just re-stimulates.
Right.
Looking at what's going on in these cities re-stimulates many of us.
Yes, sir.
But I'm telling you, God was with us. And when you realize that, man, only God could have got us through that and got that situation the way that it did in terms of peace within hours. But if you out there without God, that's my point. And you just out there on your own accord because you want to fight the police,
right,
then, okay, you can do that. You could. It's not wise. So the Honorable Minister has us in. And guess what? Even before this happened, I knew that COVID-19 would prove to black people, you really miss us.
Yeah.
You really miss that brother out there with his pie and his paper.
That's right.
You missed the brother coming to you was able to open the shop back up.
Man.
And have the minister playing on the screen. You miss us.
Yes, sir.
Because you know that at the end of the day, despite what goes on, we're true to what we say. And if you wise, you will follow the minister's guidance.
Man.
But I do believe, Brother Herman, there are some that God is guiding out there in those protests that got them, but there are many agitators as we see too.
Absolutely.
One thing about Freddie Gray, there wasn't no white people out there.
Absolutely. You know, and it's, man, I love the way you answer that question, brother, that the Nation of Islam in and of itself is a protest. You know, we get this thing where they'll come and say, why don't you have no picket signs? I'm a man. Black Lives Matter. all of the things that our people do in order to become more, tied to this society and to be more accepted by a people who don't care nothing about them. And my response is always, listen, I don't have no business protesting what white folks do. I'm a separatist. I'm about what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, and that is that we have to do something in the way of self. And I believe that there's an awakening taking place amongst many of our people that they're really starting to think that maybe separation is actually an option. What are your thoughts on that particular subject?
Well, it goes back to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his minister, as we see the minister was telling us, look, if you don't want to go for self, we'll force you to. See? Then I'm reminded of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told his minister one day. Very powerful statement, very deep. You up there. He said he was riding in the car with her.
Right.
He came to the light. An old, rugged-looking white man walked by. He said, brother, have you, Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, brother, have you ever seen a man in whose head no whip? This young minister Farrakhan said, no, sir, dear Pop. He said, there you go, right there.
Right.
And the minister said, he looked at that old, raggedy white man, and then the Honorable Elijah Muhammad turned and looked at it. He said, brother, you can't fathom the depth of that.
Right.
What lesson was that? You looking at the outer of that. I'm looking at the essence. See? And so the essence of them, even though they may look like they're benevolent and that they're with us, their nature at any given time will cause them to show who they really are in the thick of it. I do believe that they are sincere white people, but it's not enough.
Right.
For us to drop our onward march for self. The other thing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he said, one day, brother, teaching alone won't save nobody. Chastisement.
Right.
These fiery serpents now that God is using is angry white people. See? An angry president that's showing you he can pull back.
Yeah. Man.
See? And he letting you know. Right?
Without doubt.
Hey, we will run you over with might. But the thing is, some of us gotta be whipped into submission. That's my point. Some of us gotta suffer. And then the minister said, when that kind of whipping comes, we'll stand right, we'll stand straight up. Everybody will get right and be on the same accord. So I just know that the minister's words about the young people, they're fearless, the most fearless generation we've ever produced. However, they're leaderless.
Right.
They're missing guidance, divine guidance. And if you couple that divine guidance coming from this beautiful man, which he's already proven that the youth and young people and the rappers, they love and adore him when he's allowed to get to them.
Right.
They follow that guidance. And if I was you listening, I follow that guidance too. Can
Yes,
I give
sir.
you some homework? Get the Fall of America and go read the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's historic Uline Arena address of 1959 and see whether or not that's George Floyd all over. That's a historical piece.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. And we are, let me give us an image of who we talking about, because all of this, well, I won't say that he's who we're talking about, but I would say that this brother George Floyd, and his death is the catalyst for this whole conversation. So I just want to read something from the Final Call newspaper. It begins on page 4. It says, the article is entitled "A Gruesome Killing and the City's Ugly Anti-Black History." It's written by our brother Brian 18X Crawford, and he begins, the city of Minneapolis experienced days of unrest after 46-year-old George Floyd, a native of Houston, Texas, was killed on Memorial Day by former police officer Derek Chauvin. The death was captured on a 10-minute video that soon went viral and sparked coast-to-coast outrage. The video shows Mr. Floyd face down in the street with Mr. Chauvin's knee on Mr. Floyd's neck as the black man cries out, "I can't breathe." The incident brought back memories of Eric Garner being choked to death on a Staten Island sidewalk by former New York police officer Daniel Pantaleo in 2014. While the video of Mr. Floyd's last moments is hard to watch and triggering for black people tired of seeing fatal police encounters with black people, in Minneapolis, feelings of anger turned to outrage, particularly as Hennepin County Attorney Michael Freeman initially announced no charges have been filed against officers Chauvin, Toe Thao, Thomas Lane, and J. Alexander Ewing. all were swiftly fired by Chief Madaria Arredondo for their involvement in Mr. Floyd's death. Now I stop there because this is a story, of course, Brother Carlos, that, you know, it's not new. It's not new. And like we were saying earlier in the conversation, this is just an extension of what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan already told us that was happening throughout the country. And this paper is so appropriate or apropos because America is absolutely on fire. Because not only did the protests begin in Minneapolis, but they're all over the country. And I want to show a little map that is self-explanatory. In LA, it's going down. Las Vegas, Nashville, Chicago, Salt Lake City, Portland, Seattle, Denver, Dallas, Atlanta, in DC, right across the street from the White House, New York, of course, Cleveland, and, you know, of course, Minneapolis. The country's on fire, brother. The country is on fire. Who, I know who we should look to, but tell the people, who should we look to for the answers that we need in this critical time?
If you got some patience, right, hold the line. Because on July 4th, it be the will of God. That voice that you've been asking about, where is he? What he got to say? It's coming our way. But the question is, as always, are you just going to listen to the minister? And because you looking at hear something to see what you got in your mind, and if that goes against that, you know. But I would say, what God is going to bless him to say, each and every one of our people need this. It will be a message, he said, of warning to the government. The first time he just told us in February we was going to watch the nation unravel.
Right.
That's the whole thing. We can stop the show right
Stop right there.
You know, right there. But God directs his servant. In the Quran it says, my companion errs not, nor does he deviate.
Yes, sir.
There's one mighty in power that has taught him. So he's guided. He doesn't just come out just to be talking. He comes out when he's divinely inspired. So there's been a whole lot that's been going on that has been swirling in our beloved leader and teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And so when he gave July 4th as the marker, who would have known the events that would come? See, when we look at how he came with that message at the end of Ramadan, and then literally days later,
yes, sir,
that event happened.
Yes, sir.
Right? And guess what? God knew the plan. He's the best of planners.
Yes, sir.
And that's why we were kind of caught off guard. But the minister's message on July 4th, that's going to be God talking to us through his message. So don't you get caught up in the charismatic personality and miss the divine message coming through him, as he is a divine instrument of God's choice. Remember, Brother Herman, you were there at 10:15.
Yes, sir.
And the minister had to have a leadership meeting the next day to quell many who made the judgment like, man, hold up, you had all these young people here and you ain't making that call, and you ain't saying we should have. Nah, when the minister saw that future generation out there, he knew he would never use his voice to put those children and young people at risk of losing their lives by creating chaos, and then got to explain that to their mothers and fathers who may not have wanted them to go there. You're dealing with a wise leader.
Yes,
who I said earlier has led a whole nation, tens of thousands of us, with little law for 40 plus years. How much loss and carnage have these gang street organizations lost in 40 years?
Right.
Under leadership? How many of us have seen the recklessness of our own community with murder? How many have been lost under that kind of leadership and government? And now you're going to judge the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan because you want him to do what you want him to do.
Right.
Guess what? He's the one God is guiding, and guess what? That's why we are following him. He's worthy to be followed. Can I say this?
Go ahead.
And just a personal testimony.
Go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
But it fits. In 30 years, 26 of them as his student minister. He put me over his followers at 20 years old. A
Wow.
little boy. But in all those years, the minister has never asked me to do a couple of things, but two things in particular. The first one is, he's never asked me to worship him. Never.
Yes, sir.
In fact, if he ever sensed it, he always taught us away from that.
Right.
Because there ain't nothing like unconditional love.
Right.
There's a thin line between love and worship. So the beauty of that man is that he knows that if he just even insinuates a thing, our deep love and affection for him could cause us to do a thing that could be harmful to ourselves and others when that is not the type of leader that he is.
Right.
That's the first thing. Don't worship me. There's no God but Allah. There's only one God, brother. Worship God. The second thing that the minister has never asked me to do, personally, but I can say as a nation, he's never asked me to go and harm somebody.
Right.
Never. Never. Have I hurt people? Yes. But not under his command. He's never given me a hook to go hurt somebody because of a disagreement that that individual has with us in religion or the nation, and Muslims and Christians, or somebody says something dirty and rotten about him. You know how we feel.
Right.
But some of you are lucky.
Right.
That should show you something about him, the beauty of him, that he's grace and mercy in your midst.
Yes.
You don't even know it.
That's right.
And as we've matured, we're starting to see his way is the best way. So it's not good enough as his student minister to tell him, I love you, brother minister, but I don't like his way. To really love him is to love his way. Because to love his way is for him to guide you without him physically being in front of him. I just wanted to give that testimony.
Brother,
me.
That's beautiful,
He never
brother.
asked us to go out and harm
That's
nobody.
beautiful. And you know, I could bear witness. I could bear witness, brother, as a brother who's been in the nation since I can remember the day I walked through the door, April of 1990. That my testimony is identical to yours in that regard. The minister has never asked us to worship him. He's definitely never told us not to hurt anybody. In fact, quite the contrary. A lot of niggas need to be hurt. And he like, no, leave that brother alone. Leave that brother alone.
They should be thankful. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
you're right. It's the beauty of a man that respects our zeal.
right.
But guides it in the most beautiful way. See, so it's not that we like zeal. It's just the guidance that comes with that zeal that gives us our longevity and allows us to make progress and hypocrites and naysayers.
That's right, brother. And you know, I was reflecting just on the fact, man, that I, like you, when I came into the Nation of Islam, I was a teenager. I was a little baby, man. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even call myself a man.
I was 15.
But, you know, by the grace of Allah, you know, he guided me through manhood to where I got married. had children, opened businesses. Now I got grandchildren by Allah's grace. You know what I mean? And still with him, brother. It's such a blessing. Such a blessing.
It's beautiful. And listen, we came in, I got registered in 1990. I couldn't register before that, even though I had heard it before that.
Right.
Coming around. But I was a little, now, you got to remember, I'm just being honest. When I was 14 and 15, I looked about 9 or 10.
Right.
I mean, I really did. In fact, when he put me over the mosque, I looked about 12. So you know, but I was like you. When I heard it, we joined and we began to take our journey with this beautiful man of God, and he grew us up into our manhood, and it's still making us into the men that we desire. And think of that, Brother Minister.
Yes, sir.
Because you a student minister too.
Yes, sir.
Think of the fact that I couldn't have imagined I would have had a family. Because that wasn't something on my mind at that age.
Man.
I couldn't imagine that I could say like you now. Like, wow, all these years, I got grandchildren.
Right.
Wow. They have children that have done great things.
Man.
Wow. See? So to our listeners, don't hate, celebrate.
Right.
If there's a man still on the scene after 30 years for us, he's still here.
Yes, sir.
That time is ticking. That's why July 4th, don't you be trying to have some social distancing cookout. I know you want to get out there.
Right.
You better tune in, whatever time that's going to be.
Right.
4 o'clock, you better find that place to stop doing whatever you're doing and tune in to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's message of guidance and warning on the 4th of July.
Man, all praise is due to Allah. Man. So thankful, brother. So thankful. Man, praise be to Allah. And brother, I just want to thank you, man, for coming on and sharing. And you know, we had talked about when we were in Detroit, getting you out here and doing something on the history, which of course we're definitely going to do once the once the coast clears, once the pandemic eases up. But I wanted to ask you one more thing, just on this subject, because I know, and this goes along with the history. I know in Baltimore, you know, looking at the images, and our people were really upset. And I say our people, I'm talking about black people, about what happened to our brother Freddie Gray. And our people are really upset about what happened to our brother George Floyd. But I know in Denver, as well as Minneapolis and other different places, Salt Lake City, even LA, a lot of the images that we're seeing of people who are protesters or rioters, they're not us. They're white folks. So, and we could say, okay, maybe there's just a bunch of sympathetic white people out there. Could be, right? But another theory that has sprung up, and I'm showing some images right now, is what we know and understand in history as the agent provocateur. Now, we don't have a lot of evidence as to who these people are, but school us on the history of the agent provocateur, if you could.
Well, age has changed, but the ever-present agent provocateur stool pigeon implant, Smith, has been a useful tool long before even we got here to the shores of North America to be made slaves. It has been a useful tool. by the enemy against his enemy. And so when you look at the fact that the conviction rate of black people, quote unquote, in crime, the federal government has a 98% conviction rate. And the research shows that they can do it because of evidence that normally is compiled from agents, implants, right? And people that they hire as informants. So most times when you catch a federal charge, have you ever noticed when our people get caught up in federal situations, the enemy just comes and picks them up quietly?
Right.
Because they have gathered so much intel.
Right.
That they damn near don't even need a gun to come get you. They come get you in your underwear while you sitting in the house with a remote in your hand. And now you got a kingpin charge.
Right.
Because the people in and around you have either turned or they inserted people that may look like us, but ain't us. And so the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because I'm going to get to these white people.
Right.
But I want to bring it home to us.
Go ahead.
Ask our brother, Jamil Al-Amin, W.H. Rap Brown, who's out there in Colorado still, right?
Yes, sir. I'm in Florence.
Yeah. Ask him what happened to his organization. Ask Dr. York, who used to be the leader of the Ansar community back in the day from Bushwick and Brooklyn and then the Nubian Nation. Ask them what happened when they went down to Atlanta and built that compound down there and how the enemy came in and took that over. That damn near 95% of the people in his organization were government informed.
Wow.
See? Think of that. So when you look at the implant, the minister asked us a question one day at dinner. It stuck with me. He asked the question. I'm trying to... Yeah, I had one over here. Hold on. If I got to show the people.
Yes, sir.
This is our intelligence.
Right. There it is. There it is.
You ask why the Muslims always seem to come out victorious. It's obedience to God and His message, and the guidance and the strategy in this book.
Yes, sir.
Right? So
Yes,
the minister
sir.
asked one day, he said, brother, can you go down to the local FBI office in Baltimore? And go in there and walk in and ask them, hey, I want to see all the documents on whoever. Would they let you come in there and look through those documents? No, sir. Think of that. He said, but they can send their people in tomorrow.
Right.
And get in positions of leadership and see our record. He said, how do you fight on people like that?
Right.
Where's your intel on them? I'm like him back in the day. I don't know, brother, man. Holy Quran. This is our intel on how they move.
Right.
So even though they come among us, we're not to fear them.
Say it.
As long as we stand on righteousness and truth, we can defend our position with such great faith that it will weak them every time. It's only when we're disorganized and not together and solid that an implant, a mole, a stool pigeon, a hypocrite, a turncoat could come in among us and make us fight one another instead of having the unity that the religion tells us.
Wow.
So now we're out there protesting. I'm at it now.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
See? Because Elijah Muhammad told us, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, ever since that white man mixed his blood in with ours, we've had a natural leaning towards him. And that's why that demon Dylan Ruth could do that to our people, and their families get on television and ask for forgiveness for that man, and then the police buy him Burger King. But our brother George Floyd had his life snuffed out from a knee. And you so happy that those other people are walking, locking arms with you, singing folklore songs like the hippie days of Woodstock. Because you got a natural leaning and love towards them that continues to grow in you a natural hatred for your own black self. You still think that their ice is colder and sugar is sweeter. You still suffer from black inferiority complex. That's why Black Lives Matter is no more than a damn hashtag.
That's right.
Black Lives Matter really was in full effect before hashtag, showing you when a beautiful messenger of God in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his minister took us out of the gutter and the grave of ignorance and cleaned us up and gave us life because our lives matter.
Right.
So don't tell me nothing about Black Lives Matter. Couldn't respect Black life until I heard the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through his minister. But you're so happy. And in your happiness, you follow them naturally. Even if they mean well. You ain't gonna leave yourself, and you ain't gonna leave them. As soon as they come around, you can be in charge. What you want us to do? And you've seen that in certain camera shots. I saw it last night in Baltimore.
Right.
I closed with it. Now, for the most part, it was us out there, but you had them out there too. It is what it is. When it got midnight, the police department made it very clear, look, y'all not going to stand down here all night.
Right.
Especially when some dummies, them implants, start shooting fireworks at the police. Now you made them move in and converge. But at midnight they said, look, we're giving you 3 warnings. Go ahead home, y'all can come back tomorrow. And they started moving, we started moving, and guess what? It got down to the point where there was 12 white people standing in front of the police line with 3 black people, and the white people urging the 3 blacks to get all up in the face of the police.
Of course they were.
I said, man, that's a shame. Somebody go get out of this. About it, right? But that's what we've been seeing. Lastly, you know that looting, the images are out. See, modern age with these devices, see, Brother Minister.
Right.
We catching it all.
We catching it all.
Who's spray painting?
Right.
The operatives out there with earpieces under the record. All that is exposed. Right?
That's right.
That's why, now that you brought this back up in the Freddie Gray situation, when we went to see the minister said, tell my brothers in the street organization this. He said, tell them to pool their resources and buy up all the vacant properties in the neighborhood. And employ the brothers in the hood to fix them, so that we could have decent housing, open up stores and businesses for grandma and them. He said, because if we did that, and if there was ever a spark of uprising, we would never destroy what we built.
Right. Beautiful.
See? Though we destroyed them businesses, but they leave. They ain't coming back now. See what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And we will suffer. Which also, and I'm now speaking to the Muslims, the believers, see, we got to get out of Mecca and build Medina.
Right.
It's got to be more than teaching. It has to be now the building of a model community.
Say that.
The only prophet in history that ever took the word and made it tangible is Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, by establishing Medina with mosques, schools, trade and commerce, business, laws, regulations, contracts. All of that was established in Medina, while in Mecca, for 13 years, all he did was teach that there's only but one God, and Muhammad is his messenger.
Yes, sir.
The only leader that ever mirrored that in the modern time is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
sir.
Yes, there was collective operatives of blacks uniting and doing for self. We just passed the anniversary of Tulsa. Right?
Yes, sir.
But good, that's a model. We don't dismiss that at all. I'm talking about a divine messenger, though, that teaches the wisdom in the book to a people and then shows us how to take that spiritual teaching and make it tangible by manifesting reality for ourselves, not for when we die, but while we live.
Right.
And so in the midst of COVID and these outcries, where's our school?
Right.
We have a few. I'm not making judgment. We don't have a University of Islam in Baltimore. We're working at it.
Right.
We got to get to the fact where we live near each other. We live in and around the mosque, and so that eventually, Brother Herman, we could gate that community off.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because when I go to the barber shop in Colorado and Denver, that's in a gated community. Supreme is in a gated community.
Right.
That we could say, hey, can't no outsiders come now.
Right.
We close to the outside.
Praise
And we, the FOI, we protecting our gated community.
Right.
So we could still send our children to our school in the gated community. To the mosque to pray in our gated community. Grocery store in our community. All the needs and services and the relationship of trade and commerce with the outside continues because it's business. Our farmland may be outside the community, however, we control and protect that too, to truck in what we need.
Right.
That's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the minister have done for us, but it's our job. I leave you with this. They have given us all the tools. And if we don't have anything, it's because we fail to use the tools that they have given us.
That's right.
Their job is only to deliver a clear message. It's our job to take them tools and build a reality for ourselves.
Praise be to Allah. Brother Carlos Muhammad. Y'all give it up. Hey man, hey man, I got to bear witness, brother. Bear witness to the truth. We always taught that, right? You know what I'm saying? I ain't ashamed. I hear the truth, brother. I'm gonna bear witness and I'm gonna stand up for it, man. Man, I gotta thank you, brother. I gotta thank you. This hour has flew. It always does when you're having fun. We done read one sentence out the paper.
Because we already had the tools.
That's it.
The needed was a little bit from the paper.
That's it.
You just put the work. That's all. You know what I'm saying? So,
Praise be to Allah.
Thank you for having me. And like you said, God willing, once everything clears,
yes, sir.
We desire to come on out to Denver.
Indeed.
And number 51.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Number 51.
Hey, brother, and we so close, brother. And you know what, man? Allah has been blessing us so much, brother, that even with the quarantine, brother, I don't know how it is in Baltimore, but people are running to the mosque, and it's closed. So they hit me on the website and on the email. I want to join. I'm like, praise be to Allah. So we running towards that number, getting that number back, getting off this study group status, and those in the nation know what we talking about. But getting that number back, brother, we right there. And so, inshallah, as we open up, we're gonna open up as a brand new mosque once again.
Come on.
Praise be to Allah.
May Allah bless you all.
Yes,
to
sir.
Continue to grow. But do know that you have the blessing of grooming a group that is not too large.
Right.
See? On behalf of the messenger and his ministry.
Yes, sir.
So that you can properly now, with your nucleus, establish what I just talked about.
Yes, sir.
See? But the moment we start getting caught up in numbers,
right,
then the real effort can get lost in numbers.
Sure, you're right.
Because with greater numbers, of course, come greater problems.
Yes, sir.
And it's coming because Allah want to grow you beyond those numbers, but always keep the group tight.
Indeed.
And if somebody, they ask me now, dear brother, a lot, yes, they just say, man, what are y'all doing down there in Baltimore, man? We want to know, man, like, what are y'all doing? Y'all out the street. I want to give a big shout out to my student captain, Brother Andrew.
Yes, sir.
Ahmed, and of course, all the laborers and the believers, but that's my right arm, execute.
Yes, sir.
And I said, well, if I could tell you the one thing, that if you see any progress happening in our city, or what you consider to be work, that whatever the highest point could possibly be on the mind, if you could get up to it, you would find the word love.
Right.
Love for Allah, love for His Christ,
That's beautiful.
and love for His minister, which now transfers into love for one another
Right.
as the believing body.
That's
Always
beautiful, brother.
keep that, my dear brother and friend. Keep that as the mantra. There ain't no need to be doing all of this other thing if we don't truly
Right.
love each other. And that's what makes the minister happy, when we're loving each other like we claim we love Him.
Man. Praise be to
So
Allah.
I can't wait. Anything that I can do, brother,
That's
to
beautiful.
help you grow, to do whatever you need to do. You know your brother is just a phone call or text or whatever.
Yes,
email,
sir.
However we zooming, we get it done, brother. But I'm
Indeed.
grateful, and I follow you, man. I'm glad you back in the shop. So my wife braids hair.
Yes, sir.
So she just went back Saturday.
Man, praise
And
Allah.
I know that hit y'all hard, because I mean, shoot, you can't do nothing, you're in trouble.
But they was trying to starve me to death, brother.
But check this.
But Allah is sufficient. I gotta say that Allah is sufficient. And it was during Ramadan, and so it's like I wasn't worried, and I'm staying on my prayer rug, brother, and man, everything just worked out, brother. I didn't experience a bit of hardship. Despite all the trials, man, all praises due to Allah.
Hey, I tell you this to let it go. Of course, once the minister put us on quarantine,
Yes, sir.
a whole lot of us got a good break.
Right.
Because during the first few weeks, we was locked. We was like,
Right.
We ain't going outside. We
Right.
ain't moving around. We ain't doing nothing.
Man.
And so eventually, it got to the point where the brother needed a haircut.
Right.
But the beauty is, I have a barber in the mosque.
Praise Allah.
And so when the believers saw me on our first Zoom, because they hadn't seen me, and I came on, and I was suited and booted, fresh haircut, I said, I could see them on the street. I said, oh, hold on, wait a minute.
Right.
I got a barber. Y'all know who he is.
Right.
He only has one client.
Right.
He only has one client. And that's me. That's it. He don't cut nobody. So anyway, I thank Allah for having a Muslim barber.
Man, praise be to Allah, brother. That's
Just to get
beautiful,
to it.
man.
But thank you, brother. It's been great. And like I said, man, looking forward for us doing more things. And I want to definitely get you on the Final Call radio show here in Baltimore. It's been on for 42 years.
Oh, man, praise be to Allah.
And now 43 years, 1977.
Wow.
The minister been on the station since he stood up.
Wow.
And I want to definitely get you to come on, and we'll Zoom it, and then, chop it up so we can see each other, and then put it on air, and then you can send it out to the people to listen.
Praise be to Allah.
We're doing pre-records now due to the COVID.
Yes, sir.
But I definitely would love to have you on to talk about business.
Oh, man, I'd be honored.
About, Denver and what's going on. But thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much, Steve.
I'd be honored.
Yes, sir.
Again, brother, thank you so much, brother. I love you. We'll talk very soon. I got your number now, brother. You're going to be like, man, Brother Herman, don't leave me alone.
Nah, come on, man. We attached at the hip, bro. This is what we do.
Indeed. Indeed, God.
Give all of the believers my love and my greetings from their Mount Nemesis family. And I guess we all will be patiently waiting while persevering to hear the message of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir. On July 4th, all praise is due to Allah. So, my dear brother, thank you again. I'm going to greet you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. All praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. The phone's ringing. I'm going to let that in. That was our brother, student minister Carlos Muhammad. All praise is due to Allah. And I just want to remind you, brother reminded you, tune in to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, July 4th. Save the date. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speaks to the United States and the world, Saturday, July 4th, 2020. Visit NOI.org for your latest updates and get your finalcalldigital.com. I'm your man, Herman Muhammad. I appreciate you all for watching. If you're watching me on YouTube, make sure you hit that like, share, subscribe button, and let's keep growing this channel. Let's keep growing what it is that we do, which is supplying righteous content. Excuse me. Like I always say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Peace. I'm going to give y'all this social media. Y'all check it out. We'll see y'all on the next one. The Quarantine Show Part 9.
From rags to riches to bad bitches, I had the vision, just added wisdom. I'm mathematician, a savage nigga. I got the stripes, I'm platted, nigga. Could live life being average, nigga. Had to go climb that ladder, nigga. I was broke as a joke, I was mad at niggas. Now I'm whipping to the bank, I'm laughing, nigga, like
No one can make an intelligent decision without being properly informed. This is why this world wants to control.